programme is brought to you by UCL, London's global university.
We're the only department of Dutch in the UK where you can study Dutch to degree level and combine it with a huge range of other subjects. Students can expect to study the Dutch language and alongside that Dutch culture, which can cover anything from literature to a certain amount of history to contemporary society.
We specialise in the things that our staff also specialise in. They cover all sort of areas: literature, culture, history. We have undergraduate students, we have MA level students, we have research students who of course work closely to what our staff do.
The point about, I think, our culture teaching is that even when we're talking about the past, we're using contemporary ideas to look at the past. So one example of that might be using gender theory to study Dutch writers, or to look at lesbian writers, or to look at single people in Dutch society after the war.
Most of our students start from scratch when they come and study here, and by the end of their 4-year course they are very fluent in Dutch, both in speaking and writing. For the language classes we use our own language method, which we have developed within the department.
In the language classes we really focus on real Dutch. We really look at how people use the language in order to bring across a certain message.
Language and culture are very closely interrelated, and it depends very much on in what cultural context you use language, you talk or you write, which actual grammatical structures or words you will use. And we focus on that right from almost from the very first lesson.
There's a lot of discussion about current affairs and about the language and evolutions in the language, and especially in the language classes there is a lot of opportunity to speak.
Maybe because it's a small department, that makes the teaching quite different in that it's not really based on rules and grammatical structures and things. We learn to be able to say quite a lot quite quickly.
My interest in the Dutch department wasn't for the language per se, but it was also on the cultural and historical aspects that they teach here as well.
I really think it's interesting the identities and cultures in all countries, because it gives me a wider view about cultures and how identities are constructed.
On an academic level it's really good because it's such a small field that you're in. You can get all the help you need, and there's not many people who do Dutch, so you're quite specialist at a very early stage, which is really good for academic chances in the future. And as you have the British Library so close by, you have probably as much information as in Holland in terms of resources to do research. So.
We also do some collaborative projects with the University of Sheffield and the University of Cambridge.
Every student will have experience of using online resources and IT tools to collaborate with people from the different universities.
We organise a weekly coffee uurtje, which is 1 hour a week when everybody gets together, all the people in the department, staff and students.
Each year we have a writer in residence at the department who's always a famous author in the Netherlands, and he or she works with our students on a translation of one of his or her pieces.
So all our students, all the undergraduate students, go abroad for the 3rd year of their study.
The ethnographic project that students do when they are on their year abroad is on a topic that they have to choose themselves, but it is related to everyday life of a particular group of people.
You basically become your own boss, you have your own job, really, you have your own project to work on for the entire year.
This year has shown me I'd like to work with practically using languages as a career.
It's definitely prepared me for a business life, really. There are a lot of Anglo-Dutch corporations where you basically progress a lot faster if you have a very good command, both in terms of speaking and writing, kind of the more academic language.
It's the way that you've learned to cope with another culture, the fact that you've learned a language and it's not too difficult to learn another one once you've learned one foreign language.
You go away and you come back, you're so familiar with the country and with how it works. I don't feel like the Netherlands is foreign to me anymore.
A lot of people do French and German and Spanish. I mean, they're great languages, but if you want to stand out for the crowd, for example, if you're doing a job interview in the city, a lot of people will have foreign languages, but you'll have one that nobody else has.
There's tremendous demand for English native speakers who also have a language like Dutch. When you're a native speaker of English and you've learned Dutch as a foreign language, you've acquired Dutch in addition to what you already have, you've got a tremendous advantage.
To find out more about UCL, please visit us at itunes.ucl.ac.uk.